Hello. You are a bowl of cream.
Yes.
Mm? Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be here with you.
I know
nice.
you've done this show before.
Yes.
And I guess I was very ill because I only take off if it's terminal.
Yes.
And so I miss you. But we've seen each other before. I mentioned just before the show, the last time I saw you, we were, I think it was Christmas shopping. We ran into each other in one of the stores.
Yes, we were both, I think, being bombarded.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to shop, isn't it?
Well, it has to be more, even more. Don't you hate to do that? Because they're looking at what you're looking at, and I feel very awkward if you're looking at something and somebody comes up. It's like watching you eat.
Yes, and also I think there's a lot of pressure because you're looking at something and you may think, oh, it's not terrific or something, and somebody else will pick up the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then they see you put it down, and then they put it down, and you think, oh, what am I doing for this store?
It has to be absolutely horrendous for you the last couple of years, because not only in this country now, but you're known all over the world. You went to I think it was the Cannes thing, and absolutely created a sensation over there, because the photographers there, are next to animals, right?
Yes, it was, I think, really my first truly frightening experience.
Yeah.
Now I know that because now I'll be walking along and I'll hear footsteps running behind me. It doesn't even have to be after me. It could be after a dog or after something. And I kind of now turn and look around because, yes, I was very frightened.
I hardly think if you hear footsteps behind you, they're after a dog. that just, no, I can't buy that at all. It's nice of you to say that, but no way. You get this a lot of times. You've been on so many covers and so forth, and on television. When people see you, they really kind of start to examine you. They've seen so many pictures, so they look to see if you're exactly like the picture, or maybe there's a little flaw here, or they expect the nose to be over here or something.
Do they do that to you? Or is it only females that they do that
no,
to?
you, come on now. I don't have that image that you have.
Well, I know, but I think that, well, you have a very nice image. Yes, see?
Well, when I hear footsteps behind me, they are after a dog. No, you get that saying, you look exactly like you do on television. You don't look as good. You look taller. You look shorter.
Oh, they always think that I'm much more petite in person. They'll say, oh, I guess that's what television does, because maybe it's there's so many close-ups and I usually have so much hair that it gives off a larger
television,
image.
I think, makes you look a little larger, doesn't it? Ed,
Adds about 15 pounds.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
It does. What? It's a face of a tube. It's not a film. It's a piece of a tube.
Yeah?
Everybody looks larger. Don't we look thinner in person, friends?
Now, how did you explain that?
Because it's the face of a tube. The television set is a tube.
Do you understand what he...
Of course I don't understand him. I've known him for 20 years.
The television set is not flat, it's curved. The television screen is curved.
I understand that.
And that expands the image. The image is expanded. Film, it's a duplicate of the actual person.
Of the actual person?
Actual person. Ask our director, Bobby Quinn, who knows technically what it is.
Bobby's up in the booth. What is it about television? Does television make you look heavier? Is it because the tube is curved?
I don't know.
Bobby's not too technical-minded on television. Takes awfully good pictures. So far, we've solved absolutely nothing. I got to do a commercial, but we'll be back. Usually, the first comment you get from people when they see you in person, outside of we thought you were taller or shorter or whatever.
Well...
No. Outside of that, who compliments you more, men or women?
What's interesting, it's both.
Both?
Yes, I think it's nice because I have a lot of female fans.
Yeah, I know you do.
And that's very encouraging because I think sometimes actresses, at least I would feel a little intimidated if I knew I was maybe intimidating them. I mean, it works both ways.
Right.
So I think from both of them. And I think also that the reaction I have is sometimes people say that I'm softer in person, maybe prettier, which means that obviously I don't photograph.
What?
Maybe I don't photograph.
Man is going crazy back there. No, you are. You do have it. There's a very soft, pretty quality.
So maybe something harsh happens when it's the tube, you know, how it rounds out.
Face of the tube, yes.
What were you talking about? You have another picture coming up after this one, you said, or...
Yes, and in fact, I've heard that maybe there's a chance you might be doing it.
Yes, they've asked me. We're trying to work it out.
That would be great.
I need some time off. I hate to come to you for time off because you might give me more time off than I need. But I have to get down to Acapulco to do this movie.
Yes, we're going to leave for Acapulco shortly, and
Hasta la
when the
vista.
sun is shining.
Are you serious?
Well, I'm serious.
Yes,
Are you serious?
Sure. They've talked to me, yes. We're trying to work it out. We're down Acapulco, working.
We would love for you to come.
What are you going to play, the Alamo?
I think that was necessary at all.
Well, I mean,
No.
you
can come down and watch us work if you want to.
I'm available for that kind of work.
I don't think there's any role for you. I don't believe there's no part in it for him. Is that no script?
Maybe you could
read.
play her father and I could play her lover.
I think I'll leave.
No. We're just joking. How have you managed to handle all of the things that have happened to you in the past year? I mean, obviously, the demands on your time, people want you to do this, they want you to appear there. It's very difficult sometimes to keep kind of a level head. You seem to have done it without letting it all come down on you and go bananas. How do you handle it? How do you relax and get away from it?
Well, you know I play tennis.
I know you're a tennis player.
I play tennis. We were just discussing earlier that I think it's a great outlet for me. I know that after I play, I can be very tense just thinking about the day and how am I ever going to get myself organized to do, I have the Fabergé and I have films and I have covers. I mean, it goes on and on.
Right.
So I'll go out and I'll play tennis and I may beat someone, which is a great thrill, isn't it? And all of a sudden, I'm more mellow throughout the day. And I think that the interesting thing is, I was thinking the other day that men have always had this. Women are just now realizing that, oh, that's great, then I feel better throughout the day after I've done something.
Get in and do something physically active. How do you handle, there's hardly a magazine, and I'm sure that you see on a newsstand, the gossip kind of magazines, the fan magazine stuff, where all of a sudden your personal life is threatened, or they create these stories that there are problems, and et cetera. It goes on and on and on. How do you and Lee both handle that?
Well, now...
There have been rumors you're splitting up, you're divorced, you're seeing other people, and it's got to make you a little angry at times.
Finally, both of us, and it's taken us a long time,
Right.
we finally reached a point where, number one, we don't read it. We don't allow people to send it to us, and I think it's taken...
It's usually your good friends that send it. You ever notice that? I know you'd like to see this, a good friend.
Yes. The hardest thing has been to convince our parents, though, because, every time they dial the phone, are you getting a divorce? Why don't you tell us what's happening? So finally, we've learned to convince them, so they don't mention it to us anymore. But it took a while, and I don't think you ever become immune to it. I mean, some seeps in, and it still hurts you. At least it does me. And I keep thinking somebody's going to tell me some magical secret about, well, this is what you do. Somebody who's been there, and they'll say, this is what you do. But everybody, I think, handles it in a different way. Some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, I don't like it at all.
No, if you have any sensitivity at all, it has to make you a little bit angry. You're from originally, where's your hometown now?
Corpus Christi,
Corpus
Texas.
Christi. Somebody told me that,
Oh, that's nice.
Somebody told me that when you graduate from your high school yearbook, now the ones they have to be kept under lock and key because they become a collector's item. Everybody's coming in to grab them from that particular year. No.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. The old high school yearbook. Were you a cheerleader?
Good, I'd like them to be kept under lock.
No, come on.
No, the other day I saw a photograph of myself, and that was kind of when, you women can relate to this, the kind of round bouffant, what was it called, bubble hairdo was in. It was all out here and all kind of sprayed, and I had these very heavy, dark eyebrows. I don't know where they came from. And maybe it's I'm in the sun in California and there's not as dark. And I thought, I didn't look like that. I refused to believe that I looked like that.
Yeah. When we went to school, I think they used bear grease in their hair. Didn't have hairdressers and wrote on little stone tablets. What do you... Do you look ahead in your career and say, hey, I'd like to be doing something 5 years from now, 10 years from now? You make plans, or do you just take it day by day and...
I think I'm starting to project a little more now than I did about the future. I don't like to. I kind of like to just say, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and if I don't think about it, then maybe better things happen. I don't know. I've just always had that theory. But now, of course, that I have contractual agreements, you have to be forced to think about it. I mean, I have an agreement with Fabergé. I have films now for the next, I would say, couple of years. I have about 4 films. Yes.
And didn't Lee just do 2 or 3 films almost back to back?
Yes, he's
but when do you see each other?
Well, lately, not very much. But, not very much.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I mean,
let's talk about it.
Do you have time for...
A lot of long-distance calls.
Romance?
And then, you know, we fly in on weekends and we see each other. And then a funny thing happens.
Well, I sound like one of those gossip columnists, and I don't mean to, but I...
Is that you don't have time to argue, you know, because you both reach a point and you say, well, we only have a couple of days together. Let's not waste it arguing. So all of a sudden, your relationship becomes wonderful.
That's...
Haven't you found that?
That's the secret. Only see each other 2 days a year.
No.
Little humor there, honey. No, come on. You know. But that is true. There's something to be said for that. Mm-hmm. Your picture comes out in September.
Yes.
Somebody killed her husband. We have a little film clip of it. We ought to show now.
Okay.
And does this need any particular lead-in or setup at all?
I don't
know
yes,
what
probably I should say something.
Yeah.
It's a comedy, first of all. It's
Right.
very light, but also it's a suspense thriller. So
Right.
I think the film clip we're going to see is I have an unhappy marriage. That in the film.
In the film.
I have an unhappy marriage. And so my character meets a very special man who's Jeff Bridges, who's wonderful in the film, I might add. And so we decide that in just a couple of days we fall in love. And we happen to be up in my bedroom, and I'm showing him my drawings, but that's all we're doing. And he says, are you really going to leave your husband and marry me? And I say, yes. And he says, well, then we'll tell him. And I say, okay. And all of a sudden, we hear someone coming in, and it's my husband. So we said, well, we'll do it now. So we finally get up the courage, and we walk downstairs, and my husband's dead. Now, I shouldn't.
Your husband's dead?
My husband is dead, killed with a knife in his back. But it's a comedy, you know, so you have to see it.
The old funny knife in the back trick. Okay. So we won't tell them any more than that.
No.
All right, watch the monitors here.
We have spectators.
Should we take a bow?
Oh, let's just wave with casual abandon. Hello, how are you? Oh, that's 6.
6 what?
People who know about us are guests, not counting strangers.
Now, if they each tell 2 of their friends, it'll make... It's Preston.
7.
I hope we can manage some ice. The freezer was just delivered this morning, but I think we've got something.
Do you really want to divorce him and marry me?
Yes.
I'm here to talk to you.
Well, then we might as well go down there and tell him. When the other guy leaves...
No, I can do it after you leave. I mean, I've wanted to do it before. I just never thought I can do it now.
Why should you do it alone? We're together. This is going to be awkward as hell, but we're going to manage it.
He's dead. Well, that solved that problem. Sure solved that problem,
Yes,
didn't it?
You have to see it.
Yes, I can see it. Have you ever thought what you would say if you were in that kind of a situation? You were in your bedroom with a man and your husband walked in?
Oh, well.
What would you say? What would be your... I mean, there you are. I mean, home, and you're in an embrace, and your wife or husband, either one, walks in, and there you are. What possibly can you say at that particular moment?
I think that I would react because as an actress, you're going through these same emotions before you do the scene. And I think that I would just say, depending on if I was going to divorce him or not, whatever. I mean, that does make a difference. I would probably just go, well, I mean...
Everybody's got to be someplace.
We should...
There's not much. That's why I say there's really not much. That's a real cool situation.
Oh, it would be awful.
Something like, where do I sign? Usually is the end of it. Hey, I hope it's a big hit for you. This is your first major picture, isn't it?
Yes, you noticed I cut my hair.
I was going to say, in there, you're
yeah, about 5 inches, and I was filming in New York.
Now, what'd you do with the hair that you cut off? How many requests do you get?
Oh, isn't
How
that
many
funny?
requests do you get for people who say, send me a lock of your hair?
A lot of fan letters that I get would like a lock of
Right.
hair. And,
Now, what happened with the 5 inches that was cut off?
well, we were rushed. It's on the floor in the garbage someplace in New York.
Oh, I'll bet it wasn't there long.
No. But anyway, so I was wearing my hair pinned up on top of my head, and so it looked very dark because I had got no California sunshine. It was kind of pale, but it was good. It was an interesting look, which is what I wanted. I wanted a departure from Farrah, you know, and from Jill on Charlie's Angels.
Right.
So hopefully.
Hey, I know you have to leave now. I thank you for coming. You're a delightful, lovely young lady, and
you're wonderful.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I hope it's a big success for you.
Thank you.
Will you come back and see us again
I will.
sometime?
Thank you.
Thank you. She's pretty, isn't she?
Woo! She is nice.
What would you say in that situation?
I think there's a great line from a movie. Do you remember the movie? Joey Bishop says it in the movie. I think it was called Divorce American Style or something like that. He's caught in that position in the bedroom, and he looks at his wife, and he said, are you going to believe me or your eyes?
That's about all that's left, right? Or you could say something like, darling, she reminded me so much of you, and you were gone.
Yeah, and you're going to be gone.
Yes, small arms fire. Well, Charlie Callis is here tonight, lovely Brooke Shields.